From 17 once again. This is a Battlefield 5 commentary. We're playing Breakthrough on Wake Island, and I am attacking with the M3 grease gun. And you might be wondering, what the hell is this? I was expecting some kind of passion project or some playthrough or some coverage of a game that's just come out that I've not covered. Well, at the moment, guys, I'm a little bit disarrayed with my living situation, but we're working on it. And if you've been with the channel a very long time, you'll remember a time where I used to do a lot of commentaries for multiplayer games, and I've been playing some Battlefield 5 of all games, so I thought that I would share some of my adventures with you. I wanted these videos to be Modern Warfare. I've been looking to get back into Call of Duty for a long time. I've officially moved over to PC from console. I was hoping that Modern Warfare would be my first experience with mouse and keyboard on PC and, you know, learning it and getting used to it and seeing what I can do. And then Modern Warfare came out and I hate it, and I think it's a horrible game that has never allowed me to have any fun in it and never given me the opportunity to rush and be aggressive and feel like I'm good at the game, feel like I'm confident and can destroy the people I come up against, because every single person in every single lobby is a try-hard sweat with the best headset who hears me around every corner and one-frames me the moment that I strafe around the corner, and I've just had a general miserable time with that game. So in the interim, I've been looking for some alternatives, and the alternative that I found is Battlefield 5, which is really ironic, because if you know anything about Battlefield 5, this is a game that is in absolute, complete and utter devastation. It is in dire straits. The community is angry, DICE is not listening and changing things that never needed to be changed. If you want to see some jokes today and have a nice chuckle, check out the Battlefield 5 Reddit. It is completely alive with just hatred for the developer that is ignoring the player base and doing nothing to remedy the situation. And I'm in a bit of an interesting situation because I'm a Christmas noob who got this game just after Christmas, so I know nothing about the old TTK, I don't really know much about the game, I'm not a Battlefield player, I'm a Call of Duty player who's found more Call of Duty in Battlefield 5 than I have Battlefield, which is kind of awesome for a player like me that likes to run and gun, and that's what you're going to hopefully be seeing in this video if I can do that. Get shot from the side. I actually saw that guy then. That was an awareness fail. Come on, Chris, what are you playing at? But I also have an interesting perspective too, because I was with Battlefront 2 when everyone hated it, and I loved that game, and I found so much quality and potential in something that had essentially been martyred and just completely scapegoated into all hell. And now there's been this wonderful shift from Battlefront 2 where everybody kind of likes it because they've improved it and they've changed it, and the entire culture has just shifted its attention from completely negative to quite positive. And I'm wondering if we'll see the same with Battlefield 5. Because right now, this game is in probably its darkest place, and the community is very vocal, and will DICE in the coming year be able to do what they've managed to do with Battlefront and pull it out? And I'm excited to see where it goes. But until then, we will be talking about what's going on in this game, about what brought me here, and some of my thoughts and some of my feelings. And I apologise if my thoughts are a little staccato and all over the place, because this is the second time I'm doing this, and I don't really like repeating commentaries. So the gun that I'm using right now, guys, is the M3 grease gun. It is one of the new DLC guns that have been introduced with the most recent chapter. It is a very strong gun. It is a gun that shoots quite slowly. I think it's something like 350 RPM. However, it is a 3-bullet kill in upwards of 10 to 15 meters, and then every meter after that it distinguishes, but it's also very accurate because of its slow firing rate. This gun is unique in the game right now. It almost ignores the time to kill. There is another gun that is very much that way as well, the Nambu Type 2A, which is arguably right now the strongest gun in the game. That gun fires at 1200 rounds per minute. Now you can imagine the kind of damage you can do with the gun that fires that fast in World War II. Those two guns completely make this game feel like what it's probably supposed to feel like before DICE changed things. And I have quite a lot of experience with those guns. Singularly because when I started playing, I was using the Sten, which seemed to be a very good gun. I was enjoying it. And then I unlocked the Nambu, and then I started using that, and it was just night and day. And as I say, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Battlefield 2, I know a bullshit gun when I use them. I know a gun that's going to get nerfed when I've had my hands on them. And because my playstyle is trying to be very aggressive in a game that, especially in this game mode where if your team doesn't push, it's very difficult to get things done. One man can't do that much in this game unless you get a really dirty flank or very lucky. And I try my best to do as much as I can because it's the kind of player that I am, but if your team doesn't follow you, sometimes it's just doomed, and you will know that, you will see that, you will have experienced it yourself. But there are moments like this that happen where I can do a nice cheeky flank and the enemies have no awareness for some reason, and then I can just kind of wreck a bunch of people and have a really good time. And what you're witnessing right here, guys, is why I'm playing Battlefield 5. In Modern Warfare, I've never felt as good as I did in this moment, where I felt like I was better than the people I was coming up against, and my gun was making me a lethal weapon in that moment. Because I was outgunning people, I felt, and I'm new, completely new. I have a day on the game, I'm a Christmas noob, I'm trash. My sensitivity's too high in this video because I've not found my sensitivity, my aim is garbage, but even then, even with all these things that need to improve, my complete and lack of Battlefield knowledge and you know, awareness and all these things, even then, my experience with first-person shooters and just my general gameplay acumen, whatever you want to call it, enables me to cause a whole bunch of havoc for the enemy team and have a really good time while doing it. And that's so important, guys, because as I'm going to keep repeating, I have no fun with Modern Warfare, and I'm a Call of Duty player. I'm a COD guy. I've always been a COD guy. Watch that, by the way. That was 2 enemies that ran through that smoke, and I had no idea how I got away with what I just did. I should be dead. That's what Battlefield is, though. Battlefield is a bunch of anus-clenching moments that somehow seamlessly sew themselves together into a series of events that you will probably remember for a few games to come. And right now, this enemy team's doing a really good job of holding us back. And if you think it looks a little jarring when we go from dying to into the game, all I'm doing, guys, is I'm trimming out the segment where I wait to be revived, and then sometimes the team doesn't pick me up or whatever, and then I go back to an overworld view and I spawn back on my team. And this particular team, folks, I was having a difficult time with them because they weren't being as aggressive as I would like, and my squad had some people in them that I don't want to be too judgmental because, you know, I'm nothing special, but you just wonder what these players do. I really do. I've never come across a player base like the Battlefront and the Battlefield player base. A player base that is so immersed and so, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're doing. They do like this guy. This guy is trying to stop us from taking the flag, which is really, really admirable of him. But how can you have fun just sat in a corner like that? I don't understand that. And there's a lot of that. People laid down with light machine guns. A lot. That happens a lot. I'm not even going to talk about the planes, because then this commentary will turn into something completely else. Because if you've played the planes on the Pacific, you know what I mean. They're awful. They're brain dead and incredibly strong. But I want to talk about why I'm here and why I'm playing, and mostly saying why Modern Warfare drove me to this, because I wanted to play Modern Warfare, I wanted to be aggressive, I wanted to rush with submachine guns and do what I've always liked to do in first-person shooters, and I couldn't do that. For whatever reason. Blame myself, blame the game, whatever you want it to be. I found all the things I wanted in Modern Warfare in Battlefield 5, a series that I've never really played. I only played Battlefield Bad Company 2 online, and I was a recon, I was a sniper. And before you start getting too angry at me, I was one of those snipers that actually pushed the objective in rush and was generally near the top of the board, if not the top of the board. I was very aggressive and I had a lot of fun with it. I played on the 360. I think Bad Company 2 was one of those games that we all kind of really had a good time with because it was just something so different and a game I wouldn't normally go near, but I was just having a great time. So I sniped in Bad Company. And I didn't want to snipe in this game because everybody snipes in this game, and it really confuses me because just watch how many flares I shoot down of the enemy team, and then look how many flares my team doesn't shoot in spite of having like 20 recons on them. And I just, once again, the player base, guys, if you spend too much time thinking about it, you'll probably shoot yourself because it's just crazy. This game is so strange, and it leads to something that I call the Goldilocks variable. So there are so many things that have to come together to give you a good game in Battlefield, and those variables are almost impossible to control because you have to be on a team that's decent enough to push and put up a good fight, but not too good so you don't stomp. And then you need the enemy to put up a good defense, but not be too good so you don't have those wonderful battlefield moments. And then you need to play good and not play like shit and not have bad timing and not run into a buzzsaw like I'm nearly doing here, but I somehow won those gunfights, thankfully. Like, all of these things have to coalesce. No planes, no vehicle spammers, like none of the things that, you know, just completely stifle any kind of good gameplay. You need a squad that can enable rather than hold you back. There are so many things that have to be right, but when they are right, it's so much fun. And the first thing I noticed, guys, when I came over to this game, in spite of all the problems, in spite of all the things that people had warned me, it was the connection. So I play on German servers. All the servers that give me the best ping are German for some reason, which of course is across the channel from me on the continent, and I get 24 ping to German servers. I've never played on 24 ping in my life, let alone to a German server. So I don't know what wizardry is going on. I don't know if it's just lies or fake news. But my connection in this game feels really, really nice. I feel like when I shoot at people, even though, you know, the spread can be random sometimes, the recoil can be random, and the TTK needs to be... Look at that, Jesus. The TTK, of course, needs to be reverted. But I feel like when I aim at people, I hit them. And I feel, even though I'm not used to the controls, and even though my accuracy is not very good, I feel accurate for the time I've put into the game. I'm a Christmas noob, leave me alone, you know? In Modern Warfare, I never felt like that. I felt like I aimed at people faster than they aimed at me. I felt like my flicks and my snaps were really good because I was used to the sensitivity. I felt like I put 5 bullets on them, none of them registered, and then I died instantly. And I felt like every guy I came across was better than me, regardless of how good they really were. It felt like they beat me in gunfights I should have won. And look at that for a gunfight. The guy fired a Piat at me, which is a noob tube in this game that destroys buildings and vehicles. That's a support player doing his thing. And if you wonder if that looked a bit strange, I skipped the time I'm on the ground waiting to be revived. One of the things I have to tell you guys, if you're new, if you're experienced, if you've never thought about it, please do not raw revive. Please do not just run and revive and hope for the best. Try to kill the person who killed the person you want to revive. And if you don't know where they are and you've checked the environment and you think it's safe, smoke where you think they are or smoke yourself. Give yourself cover. It's the simple things that will keep you alive. I see so many people, bless them, who want to pick you up and want to help, but they run past a guy that just killed me and they try and res and they give him a free kill. Because everybody like whores bodies on this game. People will literally camp bodies hoping you go for revives. They will shoot into smoke where the body was to try and stop you from reviving. It's easy frags and you've got to be so careful with it. But here we go, we get a sector artillery, we push in, I hit the ammo box to try and replenish my smokes. But speaking of the connection, the second thing I noticed too was that this game has a 60 tick hertz server on PC. And I've never played a game with 60 tick hertz, and if I have, I'm not that cognizant of it, because I don't really know what it means in the grand scheme of things. I know that it makes the connection feel better, and the information get passed over quicker, and it updates the server more rapidly. But fundamentally, I don't really know what it means in the grand scheme of things. I just know the controversy that COD got into when it only had 20 server tick rates or 30 server tick rates, and then they increased it and people still complained because does it really make that much of a difference? But between the 60 hertz tick rate and the 24 ping, when the server is good, it's so much fun. It feels really great. And that's not to say that there are times when the game doesn't feel atrocious. The movement seems to have these issues of dropping inputs, and it seems like there are times when you feel really sluggish because the connection of the server is not the best for whatever reason, which is unavoidable, and you just kind of get used to it. There's times when you try and stand up and your guy won't stand up, you try and prone and he won't prone. There are many moments of, dude, I'm trying to do something and it doesn't work and it leads to dying. But even when that happens, you're still having a good time. And in this video that you're watching right now, I was having a great time, and we were getting stomped in many ways. This team is putting up such a good fight. And if you've done Breakthrough on Wake Island, apparently Wake Island is a map from the past. It's been in like nearly every battlefield. I'd never even fucking heard of it. I play this because it's always on the servers, and it's the map I know. And the other two, the Pacific Island, that's just a bloodbath for tanks and planes. And Iwo Jima is so flat, it's just LMG sniper madness, and I don't really want to get, you know, a part of that. So Wake Island is the one I know, and watch this for a mistake. See that? If I'd have just checked check the corners. But you know what's really good about this in Battlefield? It's moments like this that teach you the most valuable lessons. I will never go for a revive like that on a home flag with an area like this without checking those corners again. And if I do, guys, you need to shout at me because it means I haven't learnt. And there are so many lessons in this game that I learnt by playing it that you wouldn't have even realised. Like, I would have never dreamed that I'd be playing Medic. I would have never dreamed that smoke would be the most useful utility that I have. But it is. Because smoke will make a cowardly team push. Smoke will make a squad that doesn't want to go forward towards an objective find their balls. And it is so helpful because it's empowering in so many ways that I never even anticipated. I can pop a smoke on a trench, run into a trench, kill every single person in it, and they don't even know you're there. It's just, there's something about it. People are either too trusting or not trusting enough when it comes to smoke, and it is so effective. I actually wanted to play Assault when I came to the game when I first started playing, and I thought that Assault would let me use submachine guns and be aggressive. I thought Assault was the one that assault and is aggressive, you know, but it's not in this game. Assault in this game is anti-vehicles and uses, I think they're assault rifles. You could use the Revert, and it seemed like a decent enough gun, but I wasn't a big fan. So it turned out that the SMGs were for the medic class, and then that introduced me to the attrition system, which I don't like at all, and I don't understand why the attrition's in the game. I get everyone being able to revive. I think that's a great idea. I think the medic's revive animation should be everyone's revive animation, and the medic should revive like he did back in the old days, where he just stabs them with a defib and they get up really quickly. Like, I don't think you should be locked into those animations. It seems kind of crazy to me. But look at this, by the way. I made the same mistake in the same game. I did mention I'm a Christmas noob, guys. I've got one day on the game. I'm garbage, but I'm getting there and I'm trying to help. Don't bully me. But luckily I survived. Who would have thought that? Any other player who's got thumbs would have killed me, right? But he on that day, I won, and I was happy about that because I would have been pissed. Falling for the same thing twice. But right now, as you can see on the map, my team doesn't want to push. We've got one guy up there, a bunch of dead people, we've got a tank spraying flame, and we've got the enemies pushing into the smoke. There's a flare on my right, but I don't react to it. One guy's running in now. I'm going to watch the map to see if he turns into a cross. He's doing pretty well, and I'm just trying to back them up and make sure nobody pushes too aggressively. But I know they're there because they're smoking it themselves. And you only smoke usually when you want to put pressure on the enemy and push or revive. So I know if I sit here, I can generally pick off anybody that comes through here and hopefully hold this defensive line, because this team's doing a great job of pushing us, and I don't know what his plan was. That was a very dangerous move, and he paid the price for it. And the sector artillery right now is ours, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to know that I can run through that without taking damage, and I think I take a risk here to do so, and I'm going to hopefully push forward. I check for the flares because I'm spotted. You're always spotted in this game. It's a pain in the dick. Wow, something blows me onto my knees. I'm on fire. I'm in the grass doing what we can. But we have a tank, and it's not doing anything. And I'm very curious as to what is going on with it. I think it's flanking now. It looks like it's lagging on the map. Very unusual. But the attrition system, for people that don't understand, guys, when you get hurt in this game, you don't regenerate the way you normally would in a game. You get given this like health pack. And I think every soldier starts with one, except for the dude that I'm playing as, the medic. He can do it infinitely. So when you get into a gunfight, or this sequence here, guys, you see that red triangle on the map who's killing all our teammates in our fucking base, and no one's killing him? I assumed my team would do this and fix this, but I have to do it myself, as usual. So I strafe the door. I know he's in the corner. I try to be as mobile as I can, and because I'm using light and stock with the extra 60% movement, I can just take him out like that pretty decisively. Easy clap. But every other class, when they get hurt, they heal once and then they're reliant on other people. And I thought people in this game would play their class. I thought people would be really helpful. I thought if you were a support, you'd be constantly throwing people bullets and getting the points. You know, it's easy points. Thanks for that, Mr. Plane. Very skillful. Oh, there was a person also on our team who just left, who was laying in a bush the whole game. I don't know if I've mentioned this in this commentary. I've done this twice. But the squad that I'm on, they weren't the best. We had people using vehicles, we had people who weren't pushing objectives. I was getting very frustrated at them, as I always do, because I expect the impossible from people. I expect people to perform as good as me, And one of the frustrating aspects of Battlefield is you can check people's stats based on their name. So I can look up the people on my team who I'm playing with, and I can see that they've got 40 days on the game, and yet they don't know how to play the game, and they play the game as if it's real life, and if you die for good. And I don't get that. I don't know if there's some dad somewhere who's in a bunker who's wearing fatigues and he's super into it and it's totally immersed, military sim. I don't know what it is, but I know that I don't really want those players on my team. But going back to attrition, every other class relies on other people to be effective if you get hit. And you trade a lot in this game in gunfights because the time to kill is quite long. And because I don't play with people, I don't have somebody to reliably heal me. So playing solo, as soon as I found out that the medic could infinitely heal, and as soon as I found out that they had the SMGs, that's the only class I'll really play. And it's unfortunate because I've played a little bit of support, and the bar, oh my gosh, the bar, guys. When you get used to having no range with submachine guns and only shooting at like 15 meters because you do no damage, when I put the bar on, I felt like a wizard. That gun is amazing. It's probably too good. Another DLC gun, you pay to win, right? But I'd love to play the other classes, but the attrition's the thing that kind of stops you from wanting to. So medic it is, and I try my best to heal as many people as I can. I try my best to revive when it's suitable. I'm not going to die for a revive, but I'm definitely going to try and help the team. And it's kind of funny because the more I play this game, the more I hate my team. And it's one of those things that happens in every first-person shooter. When I first start playing, I'm almost altruistic. I'm the guy that's like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to try and help. I'm not a good Battlefield player. I don't get the game. I don't know the game, but I can shoot people, and that's what I'm going to try and do. And then the more... Oh, that sounds like a V2. The more that I'm playing, the more that I'm understanding, the more I'm realising that people aren't pulling their weight. So I've gone from being the guy that's more support than pushing the front. Look at that. That was a bad idea. No smoke, and I get MG42'd, but luckily somebody picks me up, so kudos to that guy. Any medic that picks a guy up and risks their life is a hero. We've got sector artillery right now, so we should be rushing that bunker. But I'm going for the quick revives because I've got a bush for cover. And at this moment, I'm going to let the team push forward if I can. We've got to watch out for that flare, though. It's sitting over that main bunker, and this is a big choke point. This is what Battlefield's all about. The problem is nobody... Oh, no, now it's bad artillery, so we've got to be real careful. These revives here are just a no-go, guys. With that artillery coming down, I'm just going to die. And if there's anybody in that bunker, they're just going to put me down with an STG or something like that. So I'm just going to make my way forward. I've got a smoke. I've got one smoke. I don't know if I realised at the time. But yeah, once I start learning the game more, I start being a little bit more judgmental and a little bit more expectant of everyone else. And now I'm just essentially like, if I'm leading the team, I'm disappointed because I've barely played this game. You should be better than me. That's kind of my mentality. But it's a very casual game, guys. There's probably a lot of really good players and a lot of really, really talented guys, but there's also so many people who, they just like the colours or something. And the vehicle spam, the vehicles are so strong. They buffed the vehicles. Why, DICE? Why do you do this? This is a bad place to be. I don't really like this bush too much. I'm trying to put pressure on the bunker because there's a guy in there. Somebody threw a Molotov. There's sector artillery. I have to move. This is quite a cowardly run from me, but it's still quite early in my Battlefield moments. And there you go. Running away from sector artillery that kills me anyway. And our team are just pushing on this left-hand side, which I'm happy about. They're doing a good job, those guys over there. My squad, not so much. Not too sure what my squad's doing, but, you know, it happens. But we push as best as we can to get towards A. We've got 11 people left, 11 tickets to take this objective. This is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely, guys. I have smoke now, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke as best as I can. I'm going to pack everybody full of health, and then I'm going to hopefully charge and get in there and sweep it clear. Because this is where I shine. This is where I want to be. These moments are the bits I enjoy. I need to get in that bunker, but unfortunately I'm getting planed, we're getting flares, we're getting spotted. It's getting brutal. Just getting destroyed. Oh, I remember this. A guy comes to try and revive me in the sector artillery, and then he dies for it. And I appreciate the gesture, but that was crazy. I even thanked him in the chat, and then a different person said thank you. Which is just... Ain't that just typical? But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A Call of Duty Christmas noob tries Battlefield 5, and in spite of all the shit, has a pretty good time with it and wants to share it with his community. So apparently they think somebody was cheating on our team, which you always get those people saying cheaters. Those guys were the number 1 squad. That's a different guy saying thank you, or you're welcome. And here are my stats for anybody that cares about numbers. So I leveled my grease gun up to level 6 and 7. I got a proficiency challenge done. I got 7,000 chapter points. And if you look at the stats, 493 score per minute, 5.18 KD, 57 kills, 11 deaths was it? I didn't see the flags at the bottom, but you can pause it. And I was 9th on my team. Thank you for watching, you take care now.